Hi, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the 22,000 plus of you who are on my channel. Thanks for subscribing. My name is Priscilla Kuma. I'm the lead consultant for USRN Pathway Consult, and I am also a registered nurse, originally from Ghana and based in the USA, where I practice as a registered nurse. Yes, I am able to assist nurses all over the world who want to work in USA at this consult right here. Thank you to all who have subscribed to our channel. Thank you to all who have passed through UPC successfully. You are still not late. You can still enroll to become one of our success stories. What are we gisting about today is just basically answering some of the questions you have been asking me under my YouTube videos and see how best we can answer them for you. And hopefully this helps. We normally do have free webinar in our consult, and you should always subscribe to our YouTube channel and all our social media handles so that when we have such free webinars coming your way, you'll be able to benefit where we answer questions for free. Head to www.usrnpathwayconsult.com. That is where you would register if you want to work in USA as a registered nurse, interested in working in USA as a registered nurse. I'm stressing on this because people think that we help nursing assistants, public health nurses. No, we do not. We only help three categories of nurses, who are midwives, general nurses, and psychiatry nurses, or what you might call mental health nurses, to work in USA. If you have that interest, you are watching the right video, and maybe, who knows, some of the questions we're going to tackle might be some questions you have asked in the past. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do. Click on the subscribe button and subscribe so that you have the very first hand info as soon as we post a video. We have a YouTube channel that belongs to me, Priscilla Kuma, this very channel, and we have a YouTube channel for the consult called USRN Pathway Consult. If you haven't subscribed to that YouTube channel yet, please head to that channel and subscribe so that you get to know everything that entails the USA nursing migration process. As I said, we bring free content your way every time. Let's talk about 2024 migration as a nurse. You're still contemplating whether you want to go to USA as an RN or whether you just stay home because you've been home and you've been working for about 15-20 years and you think it's not worth restarting your life. Or you're considering the number of children you have, or your family size, or the age of your children, or the promotion you have at work, or the promotion you have pending, or the field you're working in right now and you think it's not a good fit. Should you even be thinking about migrating in 2024? I am here to answer most of the questions for you. I always say that migration is not for everybody. Living abroad is not for everybody. And restarting life is not for everybody. You have to weigh your life yourself, weigh the pros and cons, see what you've achieved so far, see what your career goals are, and see that if you travel to a new country to restart life, will it be beneficial to you yourself as an individual, as well as your family. You gotta weigh those options first before you join the bandwagon. Don't just migrate because everybody is migrating. Don't just do that. You gotta weigh the pros and cons, and if it favors you, then you can go with it. And if you decide that this is what I want to do, I've always wanted to do it, guess what? We are here to help you do that or achieve that. Some of us lives have become exemplary to most of you. You know, at least you know one person who's done it and you've seen them, and it's a motivation enough for you to join that trend as well, or go with migration as well. And if you're a nurse, you can always migrate using a nursing career. Most people are not fortunate enough to have a career that they can use to migrate. But if you're a registered nurse, you are able to do that. And how do you do that? This is basically the 4 simple steps in migrating in 2024 as a registered nurse. First, deciding that yes, I want to do this. I want to migrate. I want to relocate to any country at all. This video is universal. It doesn't only relate to the US where I am based, but it can apply to any other place as well. So deciding to migrate, yes. As a nurse, the first step, you have made up your mind, I'm doing this, so no matter what, I am in to do this. And you need that patience and that resilience and that determination to be able to even decide or come to a conclusion that this is what I want to do. Number 2, doing enough research. researching online, offline, speaking to people who have walked that path, somebody you know who migrated as a nurse, and you have evidence and proof, can be a great resource to you as well. Number 3, whilst doing the research, you will come across sources of how to do it. I always summarize it in 3 ways. If you want to migrate as a registered nurse, I just say 3 ways can help you do that. Number 1, figuring it out all by yourself, racking your brain, going to the websites and seeing what they need and putting all those documents together and doing it all by yourself. Number 2, going to agencies, recruiting firms that serve as a third party between the nurse and the hospital, or what we call the employer. So going to some of these agencies for them to sponsor you or partly sponsor you, and then after you pass your USA nursing licensure, which we call NCLEX, I'm sure you've heard that NCLEX word now, is basically USA nursing licensure. And after you pass that, the agency finds you a hospital, and then you are able to migrate and join them and work over there. Number 3, you don't want to do this stressful thing by finding out how to do it yourself. You don't want any agencies to sponsor you and then bond you and whatever. So you come to UPC, a firm like ours, where we assist people. We are strictly a processing firm. We hold your hands, walk you through the steps and say, okay, this is what you want to achieve. These are the forms involved. This is the cost involved. Fill out this place, sign this thing, use a blue ink, use a red ink. Don't hand deliver this, mail this, email this, go to your school for this. We walk you through all these steps until it is done. We are a virtual office. Everything we do is virtual, literally online. And we do Zoom meetings and stuff to sit down with you and make sure everything is on. We are all on the same page. Those are the 3 means to migrate as a registered nurse in 2024. Once more, figuring out all by yourself. Number 2, finding recruiting firms or agencies to do that for you. Number 3, finding a unique entity like a processing firm like ours to do all that paperwork for you whilst you focus on your studies. And then after you pass, we find you employers, be it direct hire or be it contracts, 2.5 years, 3 years, whatever. And then the migration phase starts. And then your family is involved. You travel to the USA, you settle in, and then you start working. And then after, you get your green card, and then you get citizenship and live the American dream. The process sounds easy, sounds straightforward, but it can be very capital intensive. It is very stressful no matter which route you go, doing it yourself, agency, or even a unique entity like ours, processing firm. It is still going to be stressful. But so far as you determine that there are people who are available to help you go through the process and make it less stressful for you. Should you be migrating in 2024 because you work 25 years and your kids are older than 21 years and whatever? What do you want to do as an individual when it comes to your nursing career? Do you want career progression? Do you want job satisfaction? Do you want promotions? Do you want to go to school again? Or do you want a better life for your children? Do you want your children to school abroad? Do you want a good educational background for your children? All these things come into play. Is your spouse on board? Is your wife on board? Is your husband on board? Do you have the means to support this dream? Migrating as an individual, single, young man is easier than migrating with a family of 5, 4, 2. Because whatever it is, with all these 3 methods I have stated, the focus is always on the nurse, the person who's going to work. So nobody's going to sponsor your family. You got to buy the plane ticket for your family. You got to pay for the visa application fee for your family. You got to get a passport for your family. Nobody's going to pay for all that. You have to do that by yourself. That is when it becomes very stressful financially, on the family budget, on the bank account you have set aside on your savings and everything. People go take loans with the hope that when you come abroad or when you get to that country, you would work and pay back. Mind you, it takes about 3 years for an individual to even start finding their feet. You might come in and anything can happen. Your spouse might not get a job. Your kids might be falling sick. You might not get a house or the city you want to stay in on time. Anything can happen. There might be a delay with a passport application, and then they might not join you on time. There's so many factors you got to consider. But if you do ask me, is it worth migrating in 2024? Absolutely yes, I will say so. But if you are well grounded at home, well grounded means that you have a side hustle that is fetching money. You have a business, a family business or a personal business, whereby if you don't go to work as a nurse, if you don't go to your 9-to-5 job, you will still eat. You wouldn't be found wanting. You wouldn't depend on anybody. If you have to stop working for 3 to 5 years, you will still survive. If you have the means to relocate abroad, to visit abroad, get a visa and travel and take vacations and send your kids on these fancy vacations and fancy trips, it might not be for you. If you have issue with everything that is going on in the Western world, when it comes to gender appropriation and all these categories, some people have their religious beliefs and stuff, so you don't want your children or yourself to be exposed to that, then it might not be for you. You have to be very open-minded to deciding if you really want to do this. You have to be open to so many people from different parts of the world, different culture, different beliefs, different religions, because you're going to work with them. They're going to be your patients. They're going to be your co-workers. They're going to be your neighbors. Are you open to all these? If you are not, then it will not be for you. Are you following this discussion? Yes. It's not easy to decide I want to travel abroad. The thought alone is very scary. And then to go through with it, not knowing what the future holds, I call it fear of the unknown. It can be very, very, very stressful and can actually give you an anxiety. Relocating abroad can give you a lot of anxiety because you don't know what the future holds. What if I get there and I don't find a job? What if I get there and I don't find a job I like? What if I get there and it takes forever for my family to join me? What if I get there and I don't like it and I've already sold my house, my properties, and I can't go back home? All these things will be at the back of your mind. Trust me, we've all walked that path. That's why I know, and I'm giving specific examples. For nurses who have tried several times to write NCLEX and haven't passed, do not give up. Just make sure you get a very, very, very strong foundation when it comes to studies, the books you are reading, the tuition you are taking, so that when you do go take it again, you write and pass. It's very expensive to be making these trips to examination centers. As we all know, it's still one examination center that is active for now in Africa, which is South Africa. And you have to make all the commitments and be paying every time you go and not making it. It's heartbreaking. Do not give up. If you finish nursing school and you didn't get a licensure and you don't have a license and you want to do this, there's always a solution to some of these problems. We have our social media handles. People do send us questions and we are able to answer all these questions. Is it worth migrating in 2024? And what should you be considering? Let's talk a little bit about direct hire and contract. If you really break it down, direct hire, people think it's the hospital calling your cell phone and say, oh, is this so and so? I am calling from Ohio State Hospital. I want you to be one of our nurses. No, the hospitals are so busy with other things, so they give the contract to a third party. Those are the agencies that we know about. They say, oh, we have 100 vacancies. Can you find us nurses to fill the spots? That is when the agencies go out looking for NCLEX passes to fill this spots, or looking for nurses who have the interest. And then they sponsor you, and then they wait for immigration and bring you over. And then they give it to the hospital. So it is still, there is still a middleman. That is the agency. That is the link between you, the nurse, and the hospital or the facility or the employer. Rarely will you see a hospital calling you and saying, come work for us, or you applying directly to them and then they're calling you and working on your immigration and stuff like that. They like to do it in a group, and they like to do it through an agency. You know most of the agencies. You've heard the names before. You've seen all my videos. I've talked about Evans, OGP, Passport USA, Connectis, Connexus, Visa Solution, so many out there. People actually ask, is this one authentic? Can you use this one? Do your research. Look at their trend. Read the reviews. Sometimes reviews can be deceptive though, but pay attention to the reviews as well. And do you know anybody personally who has used them and succeeded? What is the contract saying? What is in the contract? You gotta always pay attention to the contract, see what is in there before you sign it. Because once you sign it, there's no going back. You're locked in. When you jump to another agency, they would ask you if you've already signed a contract with somebody before. And they don't like people who sign and back out because they think you do the same, and it's not good for business. They don't want any lawsuits. So they want to be sure that you are not entangled with anybody else or tied to anybody else. So read very well and sign. They're going to give you a lot of pressure. Sign by Monday. Sign the next 24 hours. But if you're not comfortable, please, please, please do not sign. I happen to have done a lot when it comes to my personal nursing career. I keep jumping from one thing to the other, to the other. With time, I will tell you what I've been up to lately. But it's giving me a lot of knowledge when it comes to this field, when it comes to contracts, signing, jumping from one and the other, backing out, people forcing you to sign this and that. And you can be tricked into something that you're locked in for some years. It's rather unfortunate that African nurses are not as valued as the nurses that we get from other parts of the world. Like Philippines is a hub that supplies America with a lot of its nurses. But you still have a bargaining power. When you go sit in that interview, you need to sell yourself, market yourself as much as possible. And if you think the price or the rate is not going to work for you and your family, speak up. Sometimes too, it's not about the hourly rate. So many factors come to play when it comes to salary. What state is it in? What city is it in? What county is it? What is the cost of living over there? How much is your rent or mortgage over there? What is your family size? What else is in the contract? Are they giving you housing for a year? Are they giving you a car for rent or for lease? Are they giving a sign-on bonus? So many other factors come to play. Don't just have a number in mind. I want to take $100 an hour. So if they are giving you 38 in some place in Utah, you think it's not good. Do a research about the states too, and the city, and the county, and the hospital. You can just type the hospital name in the website. You see the building, you see the review, you see the bed size, you see the units and the services they offer. And then you see the amenities around. Then you have a fair idea where you're going to. Everything is online. Everything is on YouTube, social media, wherever. They all have their Instagram pages now, Facebook. Read about the facility. Read about the weather condition. If you have some medical conditions, you might not be surviving. If you're a chronic anemic person, you have sickle cell, and they are taking you to Maine, you want to check that. Are you going to be able to survive when the storm is down and the snowstorm is severe? So other factors all come to play in you deciding whether you want to do this. A lot of people approach me in the 50s. I'm 54, I'm 56, I'm trying to retire in the next 3 years, and I'm wondering if this is worth it. I was very frank with one of the ladies. I was like, you are 53, your plan is to work in the US for 3 years. You already lived abroad for years. You work in UK, and you want to work in USA. By the time you write NCLEX, get a visa, come over here, it would have been earliest 2 years. Add that to your age. How old would you be? And you intend to stay here 3 years and leave. That means you're still going to live here as a green card holder, because for you to even get citizenship, you should have been here for like at least 5 years. So I told her frankly, in the 3 years, you will not even have fully settled to be able to get out of here. So I don't think it's even worth coming in here in the first place. She didn't like the answer, of course, but I always end my messages to everybody. But the choice is absolutely yours, of course. The decision is yours to make. I cannot decide for you. If your plan is to be here for 72 months, have at it. But it's not feasible enough. You have your green card, you got to go and prove the renewal and extension and all those things. By the time you finish, your contracts can even be 3 years or more. I don't see you coming in and going back after 32 months or 48 months or whatever you intend to do. So look at all these things. One thing is, people say, one of the questions as well, do I have a medical condition? I have HIV, I have hepatitis B, C. Am I going to be hired? Nobody is supposed to discriminate against you when you have any medical conditions. They'll find you an environment that fits you. There are so many branches or units or departments of nursing you can work in. I know personal people who have HIV that I have worked with, and it's doable. So don't say because you have that you will not be accepted. Nobody is supposed to reject you because of your gender association or wherever you belong to. You can be straight, you can be gay. They're not going to refuse you a job because you're straight or because you're gay. Nobody is supposed to discriminate against you using your race, your color, your gender, your religious beliefs, nothing like that. You are Muslim, you wear hijab. People do wear that too, it's allowed. So don't have any fears. So the questions I normally get, so they are stuck in my head and I'm just repeating them and answering those questions. And what else? Most people want to relocate from one country to the other. People ask me, because I've done my verification for my country, do I need to do it again? Some evaluation companies would like you to do it again, but recently we're hearing the good news that CGFNS is waiving some for Nigerians, and if you already did your verification for another country, you don't have to go back home to do a verification, and we hope that is true. People also ask every time, is there an NCLEX center in Kenya? It's work in progress. It's not active. If you go to the PSNVU website to set up an examination date to register, it is not part of the venues that you find to choose. So as it stands today that I'm making this video, it's only South Africa in Africa that you can write. But mostly people know you can always go to India too. So choose which one favors you. If you have any more questions, leave in the comment section below. I would do another video one of these days and answer the questions that you've been throwing at me. If you want to migrate, do it. Time is not waiting for anybody. See where we are already. The 2024 year calendar just started and we've already finished the first quarter and we're in the second quarter already, and time is flying. I always say, whether you do it or not, guess what? The time is always gonna pass and you regret not doing it. The people you used to work with, you come to work the next day and they are gone. They've been doing this underground without letting you know. You see somebody today, the next day you see they're following the USA. You see them today at work, the next day you see them in UK. There are a lot of people around you who are migrating, and the good thing is with USA you get a green card that leads to citizenship, and also your children below 21 years are qualified. The country is so big, every state is like a country in itself, and do not worry, your spouse will always find something to do. Thank you, and shout out to all my fellow YouTubers who have been sharing my content, who have been on my channel in the past. I cannot wait to have you all back. Shout out Fiona, who was recently on my channel to share her PhD journey. I'm so proud of you. And thank you for sticking to my channel. Thank you for following me on social media. All the messages I see and I try to answer as much as possible. And hopefully I can put those questions together again and come on here and address it. It's been fun being back on set by myself with nobody by my side, like interview and stuff, and it feels good. I miss this space a lot and I hope to be back to you. If you're interested in enrolling with us, we do have an NCLEX class as well. You go to our website www.USRNPathwayConsult.com, register there for the NCLEX class. You normally see the announcement flying on top of the screen about the dates of every month. There's always a class in every month, and you can enroll. You don't necessarily need to be with us to do that. You can just come for one single service. If you want to do fingerprinting, you can just come and pay for that. We do it for you. If you want to do Board of Nursing registration, you just register for that and we'll do that for you. If you want NCLEX tuition, just do that. If you want the whole length and breadth, the whole enrollment from beginning to the end, you write NCLEX and pass. We do offer that, and they all have their prices on that website. We are very transparent, so all our prices are public knowledge. And congrats to all who just passed April and May NCLEX passes. UPC graduates, we are proud of you. And those who are yet to write May, June, July, August, we wish you all the best. Thank you for all your referrals. I'm so happy, and keep sending your nurses our way. We are here to help achieve this dream. Take care. Bye-bye. Ciao.